Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Rome DOD binding. I rode this binding at Arapahoe Basin in the preseason. It was a mix of gray and blue skies with high cloud cover, moderate sustained winds, ice, chunder, shade, a little bit of slush, kind of just a mix of preseason conditions, and I rode it on my Telos Mike Aranquit snowboard with my K2 Thraxis boots. As this is basically the little brother to the Cleaver, you lose some of the adjustability on this binding. So what do you lose? Pivot mount and the canting on the high back. That's the two big ones. So what do you have on this? Flip cams for adjusting your toe and heel strap. You also have the ability to rotate your high back right there, so you just adjust those. You have your forward lean adjustment. Your toe ramp is really easy to slide forward or backwards. And then you have 4 screws that you need to adjust the heel cup to get the boot to sit in there absolutely perfect. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward what you have with this binding. With the straps on this binding, you've got a mix of Rome's ultralight and Ox-Tech strap. So you got the Ox-Tech on the toe strap, and then you got the ultralight on the heel strap. The ultralight is a foam strap, so there's a lot of give to it, and it does a decent job of just contouring around the boot. It's not like the Ox strap where all the padding comes from your boot. This actually does have some padding in it, so there's a little bit more give. It's a little bit softer. The Ox-Tech strap will contour to just about any boot shape, so you don't have to worry about that when you're putting it over the toe box. It does its job. It does its job well. These straps will hold you in. That's really all I can say about them. These ratchets work well, they climb well, they release well, they never stick. There's no problems with them releasing. They're not something that you're going to be fumbling around on, having issues to get in and out of when you're in the snow. All I can say is they work, and they work exceptionally well. At the end of the day, the high back does what it needs to do. You can push into it, there's a little bit of give, there's a little bit of rebound. It's nothing exceptional. It's there. The forward lean adjustment is easy to adjust. You don't really have to worry about it. Flip the tab, do your thing, you're good to go. The overall flex of this binding is middle of the road. It's a workhorse. It's one of those bindings you get in and you can charge if you need to charge. You can be laid back if you need to be laid back. You do have the full wrap heel cup, so you do have a little bit more power on the inside and outside of that binding. So when you really are steering the board, you notice that right away that there's just a little bit more power versus Rome's ASIM heel cup, which actually only has the outside of it. So when you're pushing out, you got power, but when you're flexing on the inside, you kind of lose a little bit. This is the opposite of that. You just have more power in there. The overall ride of this binding is smooth and predictable. It's a binding you put on, you know you're going to get power out of it when you need it, and you can demand a lot from it when you have to, or you can be laid back. That dampening underfoot does a great job of dissipating kinetic energy, just those micro vibrations. You don't really feel as much underfoot. Overall, it's solid. Who's this binding for? The all-mountain rider that does a little bit of everything. Essentially, this binding is just a downgraded Cleaver. You lose the pivot mount and the ability to cant the high back. Most people probably will never cant their high back. That's just my belief on that. Otherwise, it's predictable. It does a great job. You know, I was riding it with the 2.5 degree wedge in there, so they were a little canted. I actually didn't notice them being overly canted, which is nice. I couldn't find online, and I forgot to ask the rep if these do come with the 0 degree in there, but if not, you can order them, I'm assuming. The new foam on the bottom feels exactly like the old foam, just looks like they molded it a little bit better on the chassis. Overall, it's a solid binding. It does what you need it to do, and you're able to ride. It's predictable. It just feels like a binding you've been using for years. Comparable bindings: the Union Force, the Burton Cartel, the Ride C8. This has been my review of the Rome DOD binding. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own a pair? Are you going to buy a pair? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this binding. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here and you want to support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.